Hey guys, Brendan here, Mike Cigars. Today we're going to tackle one of the most annoying things that all of our cigar smokers have to deal with, and one of the most common questions I receive here on a daily basis at Mike Cigars. My customers call, they email all the time, they ask the same question. I can't keep my humidor at 70%, and no matter what I do, it just can't seem to maintain the humidity level. I've added pillows, I've added humidifiers, I've done everything they said, and I just can't seem to keep my humidor at 70%. Today I'm going to show you guys how to do that using a cup of water and some paper towel. This is a very easy thing to do, guys. All we're going to have to do is do a step-by-step process, figure out what's causing it, what's not causing it. Maybe you didn't do something, maybe you did something. More than likely you didn't do something, and that's what it is. So first of all, guys, let's go ahead and open up the humidor. Let's take a look inside, and the first thing you're going to notice here that I have is that I have two different hydrometers inside of the humidor. And you may ask me why. Why do I have two different ones? Well, first of all, one's an analog and the second is a digital. The reason is because one might not work and the other one may work. So let's say, for example, one's reading at 70% and the other one's reading at 56. You got to determine which one's working, which one's not. So what I like to do first and foremost, guys, is feel your cigars. Go ahead, give them a feel, because this is going to show you how crucial it's going to be, or how fast you need to address this situation. Because if your cigars are hard as a rock, then you got a big problem, and we can further elaborate on how to take care of cigars that are hard as a rock, how to bring them back from being stiff, and how to bring them back to a smoking cigar that you're going to really enjoy. Check us back later for a video on that. For this one, all you're going to want to do is feel your cigar top to bottom. You want to make sure you feel like a sponginess to it. You don't want to make it too firm or too soft. We know what a rock feels like. You don't want it to feel like a rock. And you know what a sponge feels like. You don't want it to feel like a sponge. So go ahead, feel them out. If they all feel good, probably just a gauge. You don't need to do anything to your humidor. You just need to buy another gauge, stick it in, and call it a day. Now, let's say both your hydrometers are reading the same thing, and it's showing you a low humidity. For example, these things are working, and you can see that this one is reading the same as this one, and this one's saying 53%, and this one's also saying 53%. So you see this is at 53%, and then you go ahead and you have this one, and it's also at 53%. So that means both of our gauges are working, and we have a problem with our humidor. Alright, now this is a humidor. I haven't touched it yet, guys. I haven't done anything to it. It's a couple of cigars that I have around the shop. I put inside of it as the demonstration, and everything looks good from here. So as we can see, guys, both of these have the same percentage of humidity on them. So we need to go ahead and figure out, what are we going to do with our humidor? How are we going to get this problem solved? How are we going to make this humidor work the way it's supposed to work? Well, first of all, guys, you want to go ahead and take your cigars out. So, nice Ziploc bag works great for that. Go ahead, take your cigars out, put them in a Ziploc, throw them all in there. Crucial, guys, crucial. You put a couple of water pillows in there. We sell them here at Mike Cigars. You can use the Bovita packs. Just go ahead, throw them in there, zip up your bag. You don't need a big bag like this either, guys. You can use a smaller bag. Just make sure your cigars fit inside, and then you can stick a Bovita or a water pillow inside. Alright, go ahead, we'll put that to the side for now. So now, we have our humidor, we see our gauges, we see what they're reading. These are both reading 55, 54. Alright guys, so what we want to do is, you're going to need to season your humidor. So you can put your gauges over to the side. This is the humidifier that comes inside of it. So first things first, let's get this going. Take your distilled water, And you have this, and slowly, you can do it over the paper towel, slowly pour some water inside of that. Alright, you can see how the water is settling on top of it. Try to move it around, don't worry about that, small things. Alright, see, that's excess water. That you don't need. Just go ahead, dump it out. You can leave it like that, just so all the excess water comes out. So you just leave that there for now. So you got your paper towel or cloth. Make sure it's unscented. It's not going to leave a residue or anything. That's what you don't want to happen. This will move to the side for now because we don't need it right now. You keep your gauges over here to the side as well. You don't need that right now. What we do need to do is you need your distilled water. It's very important that it's distilled. No mineral, no spring, none of that nonsense. Pure, purified water. Aquafina, Dasani, anything that's in a bottle that's not mineral, that's not spring, you can definitely use it. Reverse osmosis is preferred, or something that's completely distilled. Just take your cloth, dip it, it's wet. You go ahead and on the inside of your humidor, you're going to notice that there's wood inlaid on the wood, and you can see that there's a ridge here. This ridge is what creates the seal in your humidor. So when you close it, you can feel a little bit of a tug on it. That means you have a nice humidor. It's going to keep the humidity in. So this wood on the inside is a cedar wood. This is specifically made for these humidors so that you can, what it does is that it traps the moisture, it traps the humidity, and also releases the humidity. So it's like it's breathing. And that's what helps keep the cigars quality. Alright, that's what keeps them in the perfect condition for when you're ready to smoke them. A lot of people ask me this #1 question: how long can I keep the cigars in my humidor? Indefinitely. You can keep it for a year, 5 years, 6 years, 50 years, but at one point you're going to want to smoke them. I'm telling you, they're not meant to save, they're meant to smoke. You smoke a 50-year-old cigar, it's not going to be as nice as it was maybe 40 years ago when you aged only for 10 years. 10 years is the most I would age it for, gentlemen, if you really want to know. That's the max. Some cigars only 5 years, depending on how long it's been aged from the factory or how long it's been sitting in your local store as well. So we have our cloth, it's nice and moist. We're just going to go ahead and wipe all the inlay of the humidor. You can see that it's changing a color as well. It's exactly what you want to see. Now this is setting the base for your humidor because this cedar wood is already dry. If you go ahead and you only add cigars and you don't do this and you add only this here as well, this cedar is going to suck up all the humidity. Immediately your cigars are going to become dry. That humidifier that's there is going to become dry. Your humidity is going to drop. Your gauge is going to be off. You're going to be upset because your cigars are going to get dry. I would be upset too. So go ahead, just work your way around the four corners of the box. Make sure you do the bottom piece of the box. Now you don't want no water settling. That's very important. You don't let any water settle. And you can see, that's all you need to do. You go ahead, you have your wood, change color. You've just used your humidor. Now you're ready to add a couple of things back in. Not everything, so we'll rest this down. Alright, so I see a couple of things in there I don't like, so I'm just going to get another paper towel. Go over it lightly because I see a couple of things I just want to get out of there. Because sometimes when you use paper towel, guys, because this is probably the most common thing everybody uses, that's why I'm using it, you can see a little bit of the particles from the paper towel in there. You don't want that. Just want to try to wipe that out. You don't want to dry the wood because that's counterproductive to what we just did, but you can see it's still damp, you can feel it. You're not putting cigars in here yet. All you're doing, gentlemen, is you're taking your humidifier, make sure there's no excess water coming out. See that? That's what you don't want. So take a paper towel, just put it on top of it for a little bit. You shouldn't have anything coming out. This is also why you're waiting 24 hours. You can go ahead, Now, I like to wait before I take this stuff and put it on it because the wood's still moist. Just stick it in there. All right, you got your 2 gauges now. Stick them in there. Now we wait 24 hours. All right, guys, it's been a couple of hours. Really hasn't been too long at all, but I wanted to show you. You open up your humidor. You can see your gauge and your digital. That's up to 90%. And your analog is just under 80. This is exactly why you want to keep 2 different ones, because you're getting 2 different readings and you want them both to read the same thing. But you can see that it's immediately reacting. Your humidor is becoming seasoned. You can see it's starting to dry just a little bit. This is why you didn't put your cigars in there immediately, because the spike of the humidity, if you had dry cigars, or even if your cigars were kept perfectly, this spike in the humidity can cause your cigars to rapidly expand and crack. Nobody wants that to happen. That's a very bad thing. So we're going to let this continue to sit for a couple of hours. Well, for 24 hours is correct. And we're going to reopen this back up, and we're going to see where it's at. And we'll continue from there. If you think that high of 90 was too much, guys, you can go ahead and you can see that this one's already dropped down to 78%. So you don't ever worry that your humidity is too high at this point. That's very much a non-issue. You don't want to panic, man. This is a very time-consuming process. It doesn't require a lot of work from you. It just requires a lot of time. So let's wait and let this humidor do its job. Hey guys, so it's been 24 hours. We're gonna go ahead and pop open the humidor. We're gonna see what it reads. I haven't opened it up yet, so let's take a look. Wonderful. So when I initially opened it, it read 72. It quickly dropped to 66. The digital gauges read pretty quickly, and that's kind of where my analog is as well. It's about 66, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not exactly the 70 I was looking for, but 66 is pretty good, guys. Let's quickly put that back in there, close it back up. So if your gauges don't reach 70, but it's at least above 65, and you kept your cigars in a Ziploc bag with your water pillows like that, and you got an extra few humidification solutions around, like a water pillow, one of these tubes, the dry mist tubes, or the Cigar stick. All you got to do is really add those in there, because the whole purpose is to climatize the box. You need to get the box in a certain type of percentage so you have the right environment for your cigars. So what I'm going to go ahead and do actually is I'm going to go ahead and open up my Ziploc bag of cigars, and I'm going to go and place them right inside, and that's basically it there. But let's say, gentlemen, let's say that your humidor is still under 65, or it didn't really come up to what you wanted it to, or you want to reach the 70. What you're going to need to do, gentlemen, is just repeat the last step, and that's reseasoning the humidor. Get a cup of distilled water again, a paper towel or a cloth that's not going to leave any residue anywhere, and it's scentless. Go ahead, wipe that down again, wait another 24 hours, then you can put your cigars back into the humidor. Sometimes some humidors do require you to do it twice, especially if they're larger humidors, or if the cedar isn't of a certain quality as well. Remember, gentlemen, there are cheap humidors and there are expensive humidors. The reason because something's cheap doesn't mean it's bad, but there are reasons why it's more expensive as well. You're talking about the quality of the wood on the outside for a more expensive humidor, as well as the quality of the cedar on the inside as well. Not all humidors are equal. Also, it affects the seal. That's the most important thing, is that seal that you're going to get on your humidor. If it's cheap or expensive, if it doesn't seal, it's garbage. It has to seal, it has to keep the humidity in, it's got to lock it up tight, and that's what's going to separate an expensive humidor from a cheap humidor, or a good humidor from a bad humidor. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place these cigars back in. I also have some other cigars here, guys. These are flavored cigars. You've got a couple of Javas in here, you got an acid in here, a CAO flavor in here, and there's a nub in there. All of these cigars are not going into this humidor. Okay guys, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to put my cigars back into this humidor. These cigars are flavored cigars. I wanted to make sure I noted this for everybody, that these cigars don't belong in your humidor with your other cigars. You might see flavored cigars in a humidor at your local shop. You might see them at a mega store you may go to, or wherever. In your personal humidor, guys, that's a no-no. These stores have larger humidors. It's a larger surface area. They might even have them separated from other cigars that are not flavored. But these cigars, if you put them inside of this small box with these other cigars, these cigars are going to taste like that. They're going to have that aroma on it, and nobody's going to want that there. Nobody's going to want to taste this on that, because these flavored cigars might not even be for you. They might be a gift for a buddy. They might be for your wife. It doesn't matter. Even if you enjoy smoking them, don't put them in the same humidor. That's going to mess up your other cigars. And if you have something rare and expensive, that's just not going to work. So we'll save that, and we're going to put that in a different humidor. These will go right back into here. So I'm going to open it up, and guys, you don't want to waste a lot of time with this, actually. A lot of people also ask, oh, my cigars have cellophane on it. Do I leave them on or take them off? Honestly, guys, it's a personal choice. If my cigars have cellophane on it, I tend to leave them on. If they don't, I tend to just leave them off. You know, Padrones are definitely cigars that don't have a cellophane on it. I also like to organize my humidor by stick, have all the labels up in the right spot so I can clearly see what I have in my humidor. That way I know exactly what I'm going to smoke, or what I'm going to give somebody else to smoke, because that's a whole nother thing. Alright guys, get your humidor together, place your sticks in. If you do want to, guys, you can crack the caps on your cellophane, like just cut them open. Like just take that, rip it off, cut it if you want to. That way it does help the cigars breathe a little bit more, but the cellophane is permeable, so you're able to get the humidity in and out on most of them. Put your gauge back in a spot. Now you can decide on if you would want to stick it, or wherever you're going to want to stick it. So because of how this humidor is, how I have it full like that, I can close it, but with the gauge, I'm not going to be able to if it's there. So depending on how you set up your humidor, you might want to pick a certain corner so you can put your gauge, so you can put your humidifier here. You just take that, rip it off, unstick it, stick it here. It's magnetized. So I'm just going to throw this in here for now, and we're going to go ahead and put this up first. So I want to put this here like that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my analog gauge like that. This you can stick anywhere because it's very easy. So I'll just stick that there if possible. Let's see. Yep, that works beautifully. Now, the humidity still needs to be brought up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, you could always use these guys, but like I said, I prefer these water pillows. They're much easier to maintain. They're very easy to stick inside your humidor. They're not going to ruin your cigars. So I'm going to go and open it up, and have a lot of space in the back here. So just going to put them like that. That's it. If you leave that like that, and you got those pillows in there, or even some of these other extra crystals, it's gonna bring the humidity back up to what you need it to be, 70%. If it goes over 70, that's fine. Remember, you're gonna want to keep it at 75 to 65. That's your range. Your Goldilocks is 70. You're gonna want to have it closer to 70 as possible. If you're in a very dry place, like let's say Nevada or Arizona, you're in the desert, or you're up in the Midwest where it's cold and dry, or you have a furnace on in your house, definitely check your humidor when the seasons change, or if you haven't paid attention in a while, you might want to stick some water pillows in there, of course, crystals, buy another humidifier, put inside of there, just so that you can compensate for the extra dryness in your area. Watch your gauge. Make sure you keep on watching your gauge. If your gauge keeps dropping, buy a new gauge. Check it out. Like I said, I like to have the digital and the analog there. And flavored cigars, keep them out. Keep them in a separate humidor. That's it, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact us anytime.